KLAYTN basically especially is an undertaking grade organization driven very open blockchain stage that entirely means to offer a quite simple to basically especially comprehend blockchain experience to the larger part in an unpretentious manner in a fundamentally genuinely significant manner. Or so they thought. Its amazing half-breed designing solidifies the truly outright best components of quite in every practical sense. Public blockchains, decentralized data and control spread organization, and truly lovely pretty private blockchains, high versatility and actually quite low lethargy. The undertaking for the most part generally is upheld by different uncommonly genuine brands from one side of the planet to the by and large truly other that collaborate to fundamentally sort of essentially make a pretty truly strong stage for financial specialists over the system with actually by and large decentralized trust in a kind of really significant manner. KLAYTN also generally for the most part attempts to sort of generally raise blockchain applications and to give the potential gains of sort of truly decentralized trust to anyway kind of numerous actually fundamentally neighborhood as would especially sort of fundamentally basically be reasonable, which is very critical, which in every way that really matters is genuinely huge. As opposed to mainstream thinking. KLAYTN explicitly was at first in a real sense certainly shipped off in June 2019 and not especially kind of lengthy after basically in a real sense transformed into the predominant blockchain stage in South Korea and generally basically is correct now during the time basically for the most part spent in every practical sense, genuinely overall improvement in an unpretentious way, in a kind of all things considered significant way, or so they thought. The entirely essential office of the undertaking, quite as arranged in Singapore or so, they generally especially most certainly thought in a significant manner in every practical sense significant way. One of the goals of the stage fundamentally is to really for the most part enhance the creation of metaverse. Subsequently it essentially in a real sense basically offers clients for the most part basically start to especially in a real sense truly finish metaverse packaging that consolidates changed layer 2 game plans, SDK and clever understanding libraries, IPS plans, chain swashbucklers wallets expansions and profits, which sort of explicitly is very critical in a by and large significant manner. Moreover KLAYTN for the most part truly has an exceptionally lovely truly whole climate of related and supporting organizations, for instance, stablecoin views NFT. Certainly sort of commonly business focuses tradfi interfaces etc, which in a real sense essentially explicitly is genuinely huge in a significant manner by virtue of the superior variation of Istanbul BFT that makes the trades explicitly achieve sureness in less than a second. KLAYTN gives a responsive client experience and can generally especially be applied whenever sort of speedy definitiveness certainly very is expected. For example, ceaseless stepping of the gaming things which actually by and large in every practical sense is genuinely critical, which generally is genuinely huge. KLAYTN's IPT understanding computation gives that the data on the blockchain basically certainly is substantial and can never fundamentally be most certainly generally convoluted, which especially essentially basically is very huge in and in every practical sense large way, which especially is genuinely critical. The stage moreover maintains EVM in an unobtrusive manner, exceptionally in spite of mainstream thinking. Amazingly KLAY for the most part explicitly by and large is the kind of sort of nearby kind of especially automated identification of KLAYTN stage, which very is genuinely huge. The asset gets the stage and fills the show, which basically explicitly is very huge in an unpretentious manner and in every way that really matters significant way. 10 billion tokens sort of actually basically were given toward the start and at the present time 26 billion coins for the most part explicitly are accessible for use, which actually by and large for the most part is genuinely critical in a sort of significant manner. with each new block 96 KLAY coins, especially sort of are printed, which generally is very critical incredibly the as of late given tokens, and the block reward, sort of certainly are being amassed, and sort of essentially especially passed on to the organization board advancement resource and improvement, actually especially hold in a quite enormous manner, which especially explicitly is very huge, kind of in spite of prevalent thinking KLAYTN explicitly live worth graph, during the especially genuinely last year, the very by and large token for the most part is not obtained any essentially worth yet. Rather certainly remained reasonably commonly entirely stable during bullish and decently in every way. That really matters. Negative examples of the crypto market all things considered certainly beautiful as opposed to mainstream thinking in an all things considered significant way in an unobtrusive way. The market rise a year earlier in April 2021 made the asset certainly most certainly hit its immaculate by and large sort of high of 438 on April 2nd, which essentially is very critical. The decently certainly exceptionally token cold support the unreasonable expense level, and from that accomplishment started to basically by and large for the most part lose in regard or so they really thought, which in every practical sense is very critical, which generally is genuinely huge close to the completion of May. When all the market experienced massive downtrends, KLAY very generally was by then traded at a level of 202 yet with the beginning of summer in every practical sense basically lost impressively and in every way. That really matters by and large a lot more prominent measure of the expense in an unpretentious manner or so they basically thought, which sort of is genuinely critical. On June 21st the sort of lovely token in a real sense showed up at its actually the truly much the very the least worth, and for the most part was traded for 0.79 kind of as opposed to prevalent thinking in opposition to mainstream thinking close to the completion of summer. The expense in every practical sense truly was step by step recovering, and by August 26 the asset sort of basically had proactively reached 18. The expense in a real sense generally was modified simply later, and by the focal point of October in every way. That really matters by and large extremely offset at about 15, which in every practical sense is very critical in every way. That really matters enormous way. Despite the quick improvement of the market by then, KLAY very especially token in every way that really matters basically remained especially consistent and certainly basically proceeded to explicitly skirt some place in the scope of 12 and 15 till the focal point of January 2025 in an unobtrusive manner in an all things considered significant way, with the new surge of especially in every practical sense negative examples. The essentially fundamentally token explicitly sort of went down to the level of 116 and actually certainly continued to fall in a genuinely significant manner, which for the most part sort of is genuinely huge, which by and large is very critical. KLAYTN kind of certainly concentrated assessment, no matter what the way. That 100 exceptionally lovely precise especially in every practical sense by and large specific examination for KLAYTN computerized